Today we have a special guest, Miss Minister Michelle Dewitt.
Yes, thank you for having me on your show today.
Oh, not a problem at all. Very glad to have you. I see here a little bit about your background, the fact that you was born in Charlotte, North Carolina, the only girl out of 5 children, have your bachelor's degree in theology and pastoral. Okay, all right. You've also written an autobiography called I've Been There.
Yes.
Okay, all right. We're going to get into that. We're going to dive into that. So Minister Michelle Dewitt is here to tell us a little bit about her book. She talks about some horrific, disturbing life events growing up as a child, and how God intervened and turned her upside life back to right standing, and how miracles began happening in her life.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, so my book, I've Been There. A lot of times when we have conversations with people, the conversation may lead to something familiar with the other person. And so I came up with the title, I've Been There, because that's what we'll say. You know what? I've been there. I've done that. I've been on that road before. And so that's what my book is about. There's so many people that have been sexually abused. And I was sexually abused at a very young age. And so that's what my book talks about at the beginning. And I continue to go through my book and talk about the other life experiences that I had that caused me to, I guess, what basically run looking for love, trying to figure out what's missing out of my life. A lot of times people go to drugs and alcohol, but with me, I didn't go that way. I didn't do drugs. I didn't become an alcoholic, but I became a sex fiend. I love to do that. And that was my thing. But I was, but I actually that was my thing, and I was trying to find love, because of the abuse that I went through, like I stated earlier. So in my book, I talk about that. I go I give some very detailed information. It's very strong information. Most of the time I get feedback about my book. People are telling me they're angry, they're mad, they're sad when they read my book. And so I always tell people, you can't sit by the pool and read my book. Please don't read my book. If you get my book, don't read my book before you go to bed, because you're going to be all over the place. So, yeah, you have to read it in a quiet time, but not near a pool.
In quiet time. So the book is going into detail about your life. Telling what you've been through, and okay.
Yeah, it talks about me, like I said, from that point, getting married, knowing that I wasn't supposed to marry this dude, and I stayed with him for 15 years because I needed a man in my life to help me raise my children. All the wrong reasons to be married. I go through that. I also talk about being a breast cancer survivor. I am over 2 decades now, almost, of being a breast cancer survivor. I talk about that. At the age of 25, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I had to have 2 mastectomies done. And I had 8 surgeries, with the last surgery being 10 hours on the table. So I talk about that as well in my book, an experience that I went through with that.
Oh, goodness. Congratulations for making it through that.
Yeah.
That's definitely the will of a survivor.
Yeah.
So if you could, I guess, take us back from, when did you decide to make a business out of all of it? When did it come together that you wanted to be the CEO?
So Unbreakable Faith came about after I wrote my book. So I wrote my book. I'm not a person who likes to write like that. People say you journal or whatever. I'm not that girl, right? So my friend, she said, every time we go out, you talk to the women and, we have a good time dancing and having a great time going out, eating and stuff. She said, and then you end up getting serious. She said, you need to put all that information in a book. And so I was like, no, I don't want to do it, da, da, da. So finally I did it. And then after that, another lady, a very profound lady, in my life that became my coach, she said, Michelle, you need to start your organization because this is your passion. I've worked in a local school system here in Charlotte for 20 years, working with the children. And also I was a youth pastor at 2 churches. It's always been children and youth. And so that's my heart passion. That's how it came about, because I want people to know that have been sexually abused, sex trafficked, molested, raped, to know that you can be a survivor and a thriver and successful no matter what hardships, horrific events that may have taken place in your life. You still can be successful, and I am that product of success. That's how I came about with Unbreakable Faith, because with my understanding of what God's word tells us is that, and I say this on my end of my quote, that weeping may endure for a night, but joy truly comes in the morning. Excuse me. But that joy that comes in the morning is up to you. When are you ready for that joy to come in your life? And so I talk with the teenagers and the young adults about a program that I have. It's called ATM. And I always ask them at the beginning of each section, I always say, what does an ATM represent? And they say, money, the money machine. Absolutely. Well, I'm going to change it around today. Today, you are going to be the ATM. What would you mean? Well, you're going to deposit within yourself over the next 6 weeks. We're going to deposit value of who you really are. And so that's something that God gave me. It stands for Amazingly Transformed and Motivated Youth. And it's a 6-week program that we start working on self-esteem. We use examples, and also we do exercises on dealing with anxiety. If in a lot of our youth, they have counselors, but your counseling sessions are only for an hour, for however long, out of a week, maybe 2 times a week or whatnot. But with us having it 6 weeks, it kind of brings back what you learned in your counseling session or may not have learned. We're just that reinforcement behind what they're already receiving, that help. And if they haven't received that help, we have the resources to make sure we direct them in the correct way.
Okay, that's awesome. That sounds awesome. What is the age group range?
So we cater to ages 7 to 17 is our young adults. Are our youth. Our young adults are ages 18 to 22.
Okay. So a question I would ask, as far as, your expertise, and maybe you would know, but how much or what percentage would you say that is sexual abuse is related to addiction, drug addiction, sex addiction, alcohol addiction, men and women?
Yeah. I would say it's a high percentage. It's a very high percentage. I would say somewhere between 40 to 50%. I really, because I also work with RAIN, and they have quite a bit of statistics on their site that talk about it. I know in North Carolina, we are last time I checked, we were number 9 in the United States, as far as sex trafficking. We were number 9 in North Carolina, and it's due to the highways. We have I-85 that goes straight to 95, and you could just grab up a child and keep it moving. Wow. And so, yeah, so I would say it's about around 40 to 50% that will go through that, because it's something, especially with men, you don't want to tell somebody that you were raped. You don't want to say that, because men, they are told that they're men, and young boys are told that you can't be weak, and things of that nature. And so here it is, now you have all this bottled up inside of you. You're not going to tell anyone anything, but that being bottled up inside of you, now you got anger issues. The anger issue turns into violence with others. And or if you're not angry, then you're depressed. That depression, you want that void to be filled. So now here we got alcoholism, or we're now smoking marijuana, and we're doing it as, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the marijuana, because a lot of times people need that, or whatever level they need it on, but it can be to the point where it can be toxic as well. And we have to be careful, because then you have those that are drinking, and so you just have to be careful, and be honest with you. What has happened with you to bring you to this point? Be honest with yourself and get the help that's needed. The myth about a male being raped means that he's going to be a gay guy. That's not true. I know plenty of people who have come out that are in the entertainment world that have talked about being raped or molested. They're not gay at all. There's some wonderful artists, musical artists, that's out there, and they're not gay. They have told their story, and they want other young people and young adults to come out and get the help that they need so they can move forward and be successful in life.
Definitely. And with that, speaking on men and young men, with that, does your organization team up with any type of prison or detention center or anything like that to speak with those?
Yes. When the detention center here in North Carolina, I do, I am in contact with them. I have been there. I've also taught several sessions. There was one detention center that I couldn't go back to after they closed. They were closing it down. I was very hurt about it. I talked to the group of young boys. They were ages 14 and 17, all the way from 14 to 17 years old. These young guys, I'm talking about a group in a classroom full of about 6 to 8 young boys that are dealing with society and the pressure that was on their back to prove that they were who they were. And now they're incarcerated in a detention center because of some crimes that they done that were very big. Armed robbery, murder. I'm talking about 14 to 17-year-old boys. They're in there for like I said, armed robbery, shooting at the police officer. Some killed some people. You have to go beyond just saying putting these young boys into a detention center and let them sit. There is something that has happened with these young boys. And it's not the excuse of, oh, well, my dad wasn't in my life. That right there, there are so many men. My husband is a prime example. His dad wasn't in his life. My husband became a police officer. He worked in a prison. His dad wasn't in his life. He is a very successful man today. He's been, he's been to college. He's a very well educated man. That's not good enough. You can't use that and lean on that, saying that. Um, I really am strongly a believer that if you have men that are mentors, that are in the school system, there are mentors in the churches, there are mentors on the courts, there's mentors, on the field. There are so many men that can help our youth out. It would be so nice if there would be more men to go to those detention centers. Before the detention center closed down, I did the 6-week course, and I was talking to them about predators. I said, you may be in here, but I want you guys to understand, you still can do a marvelous work by talking to your mom to say, hey, I need to tell you this so that you can let my sister know. You can let my brother know. Your grandparents, whoever the caretaker, in your home or wherever, your aunties, your uncles, you can still do a mighty good work by sharing what I'm sharing with you guys, even if you are having to, be transitioned. And they were transitioned. I know of a 17-year-old had just turned 17. He might have been, I want to say 17, might have been 16. I know his birthday had just came up. Very nice, humble young man. But the only thing that, happened in his life is that he made a mistake. He
Yeah.
made a mistake. He made a mistake. And unfortunately, when they closed down the facility here, he has to go to adult prison. These young boys have no idea what happened in those prisons. They don't know how to conduct themselves with other men. They're youth. What in the world? We got to do better. We got to do better. The same thing with the females. Our organization, we're unique because we cater to both male and female. And so a lot of times you have this program over here for the males, this program for the girls. We want parents to know that you don't have to run around and go get resources for her or him, but you can get the resources all in one place.
I think it's
But we,
I think it's awesome that you offer both.
yeah,
Male
yeah,
and female.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and I agree with you on that, like detention, penitentiary system, and just how it is set up nowadays. I remember back when, I guess when I first started hearing, I was old enough to start hearing, knowing what the penitentiary was. Back then, it was attached to the word rehabilitation. But now you don't even hear that word anymore. And it's
Mm-hmm.
attached to the penitentiary.
Yep.
So, I think we need to go in a direction of rehabilitation,
Yeah.
more so than punishment, at least
Mm-hmm.
to begin with, to get these kids or younger adults on the right track.
Absolutely. Here in Charlotte, our sheriff, he says that they're not um prisoners, they're not jailmates, they're residents, is what he calls them. He said
Oh,
they're residents. He said, let's call them residents. I said, okay, all right then. So, but yeah, I really hate that they closed it down because it's also you have parents, single parents in the home, and those single parents are trying to work their butt off and still go and visit their child, and it's near a bus stop. Now the children are scattered everywhere, and some of them are in another county, and those parents don't have the transportation to get to their child. That to me is crushing. Um, there is there was so little support for what I am advocating for. There
right.
is we need more supporters. We have to do better. Everybody wants to be in the forefront. Well, how about helping somebody and pulling them out so they can be with you in the forefront?
Yep. Less competition and more collaboration.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know exactly what you mean. I really, I see where the direction that you're going with your nonprofit, and it's really needed. It's something that's needed. Um, I am not a nonprofit, and the name of my brand is Millionaire by More, and
okay,
it's basically teaching pretty much the same thing, and that what that is joy truly does come in the morning,
yeah,
and the same thing that you're saying. Because we can wake up every day. You had a rainy day yesterday. It stormed yesterday. But if you can, wake up that next morning, I call it feeling like $1,000,000. You can go, you feel like $1,000,000 when that sun come back up, and you have another chance to do it again, to do it all
yeah,
over.
yeah.
But the issue is we get bogged down and then go make foolish mistakes that evening,
Mm,
that night. So then, it continued to be a cloudy day for the next 20 years now. When
yeah,
really
yeah,
just putting one foot in front of the other one, knowing that they're all going to be hard days. But you know, joy truly comes in the morning. And that's the
How
same
long?
message that,
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more, Rashad, about how did you start your business?
so I'm a marketer,
Okay.
right? I do marketing. Um, and Millionaire by Morning is an offshoot of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically help. Now I'm strictly focused. I was marketing small businesses. Now I'm strictly focused on like coaches and authors and entrepreneurs, speakers, and kind of to help them to gain a following. And it's in my eyes that I've been doing marketing, and I started with like the music and entertainment
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what happened is, like, there's this concept, right, that we had to go to school, you
Mm.
have to go to college, or you have
Yeah.
to get this job, you have to put this much money back, you have to save up 40, 50 years, retire. So that was the roadmap. But when I was younger, I was hanging out with dudes 18, 19, 20, 21 that was already millionaires.
Mm.
They could have been doing the wrong thing, but in my mind, in my young mind,
Yeah.
and I looked at, just regular stores that was on the corner. You had
Mm.
drug stores. So
Yeah.
I kind of the same way that weed is legal now,
Yeah. Yeah.
when I was younger, I was thinking, okay, like, yeah, it's illegal, but then there's a drugstore right down the store doing the same thing.
I love it.
So it never made sense to me. And I'm glad I stuck with that mindset because, like I say
Mm-hmm.
now, weed is legal, marijuana is legal. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so clearly I have the right mindset. So what I do, and that's what I do now, I kind of teach people that mindset. And
That's
that
good.
mindset is, if you can come up with a concept, a product, or a service, let's just say for $200, a coaching program. You need 5,000 people. How can we get you 5,000 people? So
Mm-hmm.
I help people to promote and go out there and find their community, their crowd, and you don't have to wait till you're 65 to become a millionaire. You can really do this thing, you know.
Absolutely.
So that's basically how I came out of the gates with it, and kind of trying to teach a mindset.
That's good. That's good. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I love it. I love it.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. So it's it's kind of it's not all about the money, right? It's not all about the money, but it is about being self-sufficient. It is about
Yes.
saying that you can go about your life with your God-given talents and make a way out of your God-given gifts.
Yeah, you got every one of us have gifts. We just got to find which one is our niche. That's all. If you're not successful in one thing, you keep it moving. I did Mary Kay in my 20s. A very I was a very good Mary Kay representative. But my thing was, I was never a seller. There are some people that can talk you. My best friend, she can talk, and a person that's on the North Pole and they already got their igloo and everything, whatever they call it, she will talk them into buying another one. I mean, like she talks so good. She will tell you like she really good. I'm not that girl. I'm just like, I'm gonna give it away. I'm gonna end up giving it to you. And then, so that wasn't good for me to do. That wasn't my niche, I love wearing my makeup and stuff. And people look at my makeup today and they're like, you look so beautiful. Who does your makeup? I do. I do my own makeup. So, and then I don't mind helping you if you got a wedding. Okay, how much you gonna charge me? Well, I'll charge you since it's a wedding and you want me to do how many people? Okay, well that's $250, But I wear it and then they could come and ask me. So I guess I dib and dab in that still, but that's not my niche. My niche is my passion, what I have with youth. people have it. I'm like detailing cars. These guys, I can call up my friend. He come to my house and detail my car. Yes, sir. Detail my car. Because I don't know what the heck y'all doing with my wheels, but every time y'all finish, they look so good, right? So, yeah, you have to find it. Everybody has their niche, whatever that thing is that you love. If it's money and you want to make money and bring that money in every day, okay, go ahead and drive that Uber. Go ahead and do that Lyft. Whatever it is to bring that money in, let's get it. Like you said, it's not always about the money, but it's self-sufficiency that you have to have your mind on. You have to be successful in the thing that you like. If you don't, then you're not going to fulfill your life dream. You're not going to fulfill it. You're going to be on the job, frustrated, aggravated, and mad because you didn't do what you needed to do.
That's right. That's right. And there's so much living to do. There's traveling, there's love, there's even, different food. You don't have to eat chicken off the menu when you go out to eat. There's different restaurants. There's different clothes that feel good on your body, feel different, so and it's just a feeling of freedom,
Yes.
So
it's
that's
good
why
to walk in there. Right. So it's good to walk in and say, you know what? I'm not coming to work today. Being your own boss, I'm not coming in today. I'm just not. I was gonna go to the office, but you know what? I'm not going to the office. I'm going to watch me a movie. I'm watching the matinee. It's cheaper anyway.
Yep. I read something yesterday that was, I never thought of it that way, but it's the truth and it's so profound. And what it said was people, they start businesses because basically they want to fire their boss. They're miserable at their job, so they want to fire their boss, so they start a business. But truth in the matter is, they didn't start a business, they just started another job. So
Woo, that
when you
kind of
look at it in that sense,
right?
I see so many people having to work, start a business 12, 14, 16 hours a day. They have to dibble and dabble in it. They can't go on vacation. But they probably chose something that, they thought that, oh, I could do this, make a few dollars. But then you have to get your business together. You really have to go into it as a business and not just because of a totally different reason, which is, I'm gonna fire that boss. But then, like me, as a marketer, I gotta have clients. So really, truth is, they are my bosses. You know what I'm saying? Just so happen, I know what I do.
Like that. They don't look at it like that. They're just thinking, whoo, 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 I get to be free. It's not like that. Okay, you gotta build. Okay. Let's build this thing up first. Let's write down your vision. Don't put in your 2 weeks notice. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Hold up. Let's write this vision down first. What you got going on? What do you believe that you are good at? Why do you believe? You need to ask yourself some questions before you get started, because if you don't, you will fail. You will fail. No doubt. You're going to fail, and you're going to be mad and angry about what you're doing, and you're just going to throw your hands up in the air. Not everything that you try out is for you. That's why you need to still hold on to your job and still work on getting all the resources that you need, pulling in information on that particular thing that you desire to do, to make sure, are you willing to do this even on the days that it's raining? Can you do this when it just seems like the phone not ringing? Can you still handle it?
That's good information. Very good information. I'd like to add to that by saying, get a coach.
Yes.
Or a mentor. That'll save you a lot of steps, a lot of the time.
Yes, my coach, I loved her. I did go to school to write grants, but I didn't stay in there. It was boring to me, so I quit. I don't want to write no grant. So I learned from her that you're gonna need some grants down the line. Now, grants is not gonna be the thing. She said the misconception with nonprofits, they feel that if they're nonprofit, here come the grant money. She said that the grant money is only 12% of a nonprofit. I was like, wow, I did not know that. And so she said, yeah, grants are great, but you got to build it. You got to have a collaboration. You need to have a partnership with somebody who's been out there longer than you. She taught me so many things as being my coach. And I'm talking about this lady. She's very well known with the DC campaign. She worked with the DC campaign, and here it is. She happens to be my coach. Do you know what a miracle that was? That was a miracle to have her as my coach, and she wasn't charging me no big dollars. She know how to write grants. She actually put together a master proposal for me so that I can go by it and use it. I mean, this lady is the bomb to me as my coach. A lot of people don't have coaches that come from the DC campaign and talking to you and motivating you and pushing you and showing you step by step as to what to do. The coaches give you a basic outline sometimes, and they tell you to do this, this, this. But this lady, literally, I'm taking notes, like everything she said. I'm just like, wow, I didn't know this. Wow, I knew a little bit about grants, but like I said, I didn't want to take that class. It was boring to me. I'm taking you doing all this writing. I'm not doing all that. No, I pay somebody. She said, well, what you learning, you pay somebody $5,000 for them to write your grant. They're not going to give you what they wrote. They're going to submit it to the persons that you want them to submit it to. You'll never see what they wrote. And so she said, it's probably better for you just to come out and have your own. And that's when she started showing me. I was like, okay. So coaches are wonderful. They are magnificent if you get the right coach. Now, that's the key. You got to make sure that you have some questions for those coaches too. So when you're interviewing coaches with your organization or your business, you can say check, 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 X, 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 whatever, when it comes down to that, because the first coach may not be your coach. My friend that helped me write my book, she is a coach, but she's not my coach. I love her. She has this, she has the empowerment with the book writing portion of it. And we've been not best friends, but we've been close friends for 20 years, but she couldn't be my coach. I love her, but I that's one person that would get on my nerves. So she couldn't be my coach. And so we knew this. We know this. I'm like, okay, we thank you for helping me write my first book, and we'll work on another one. I need a coach. And that's when she was like, yeah, let me get you somebody. I know somebody that can help you out. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's great advice. Everybody is not for you.
No.
For anyone that's out there listening, everyone is not for you. And
No.
the faster, sooner you learn that lesson, you'll get a lot less heartbreak.
Yes. Say that. That is so true. You thinking because you guys hang out and y'all hanging out together that they're gonna love your dream. Everybody's not on your side. And everybody can't know your business either. You gotta start working on what you have. If you don't, and you're trying to get somebody to go in with you, oh, this person, they're good, they will mess up your whole thing, the whole thing. Thinking this and doing this, and this is not the mindset you were thinking, but you don't want to hurt their feelings now because you was the one who asked them to come on board, but now you realize, why the hell did I ask them to come on board in the first place? You just be like, God, so now you got to figure out how to tell them to get out my business. Well, you put them in the business.
And they done made a home. They done made a home in the business. You don't want that.
Right. So yeah, I just keep it real with people. I know that people say, well, you a minister and what I'll tell the truth though. I listen. I don't mind telling the truth. That's what's unique about me. I keep it 100 with you. Yes, I love the Lord, but I'm gonna tell you something. You're gonna get out my face. That doesn't mean Jesus told people to get out his face, and people want to say that Jesus didn't do that. Yes, he did. There was some smart horses in that Bible where Jesus was like, you think you can do what? Yeah, I better Jesus did
Right,
too. He told him to get out his face.
right. Hey,
But yeah,
that's part of survival. That's survival.
yeah, for real.
101.
If you got like I said, my best friend, she could talk anybody with sales. She's good at that, but she's not confident in it. So she definitely couldn't work with me with my organization. I love her. We've been best friends for 30 years. And she talks real good, but she's not confident. I've even told her, you can sell something. I promise you can sell somebody toenails to them and they already got them on their feet. You will sell it to them. You'll sell that to them or whatever. You would tell somebody that, that the clothes they got on are the best clothes. She would talk you into giving her some money. I promise you, she's just that good, but she's not confident in herself into doing that. I could tell her, I could see it in her, but that's something that she's just not going to do. But
Yeah,
she'll talk to the deaf, though. Everybody's not like that, you know?
yep. Everybody don't have those skills. Like
Yeah,
you said earlier, we was we was gifted with, what we were supposed to have.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I
So
look
that's
at
good, though.
yeah. So, um, CEO of Unbreakable Faith. Where can people find you? Social handles, social media, or where at?
Yeah, they can definitely look me up. They can go to unbrkfth.com. That's my website. You can find out more about me. You can also order my book. I've been there. It's on the site as well. My social handles is on Facebook, the same thing, and Instagram. So you can definitely find me on both of those, all three of those, the website, Facebook, and Instagram. We're always looking for donations. It takes money to run an organization or any business. There's materials that we need to get for the people that we're teaching. There are parents that's coming in, and we need to be able to give them some outlooks as well. So financially, we're looking for help with our organization. We're looking for volunteers right now. It doesn't matter what city or state you're in. We're looking for volunteers that can help us out. I definitely would love to have more people on my team because we're growing.
That is awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Do you do any type of events or speaking engagements or
I,
anything?
I, they're
Um,
far and few in between, but I do them. As far as speaking engaged, I do those. Events with the organization. We just did a back to school drive. We were able to give away 100+ book bags and 50 bags of groceries to parents and youth, and we had a wonderful time. We also do we're getting ready for our December blanket drive. We're going to give out blankets to the homeless. Speaking engagements, I speak at different women functions in regards to what my organization caters to.
okay,
Yep.
okay, all right. And are you? Well, I guess I should say I know your program is in Charlotte, but do you travel about? Um,
Not yet. Eventually, I'm hoping to do so. We're still in the beginning stages of the organization and getting the name out there with guys like you. So not yet, but as far as we're currently putting together um, a Zoom teaching session online because now I'm getting calls from other states and they're wanting to know if I would do a webinar. And so uh, my team and I were actually working on that now.
that's awesome. That's why I asked.
Yeah, yeah,
That's why I asked. It's very important to have that in place.
yes,
Uh, you don't necessarily have to travel anymore. We live in a new time now. So
yeah,
Zoom is it.
yeah.
Well, Minister Michelle, DeWitt, you're the type of person that I could talk to all day, but this has been fun. But I'm going to let you get back to your day. I know you know we all have work to do and funds to raise,
Mm,
but it was a
most
very good conversation. I want to thank you. I truly believe that joy truly does come in the morning, and we just got to continue to do our work to show others that that is the case.
That's right. That's it.